Hello, my dear friends. This is Rajesh Mahapatra. I hope all of you are doing well and happiness. In this session, I'll show you in the lab how do you create a SQL databases using Google Cloud Platform, and I will elaborate each step so that you can easily understand it, and based on your project requirement, you can implement it. Let's get started. Guys, as you can see here, what is SQL databases? Guys, as you know, SQL stands for Structured Query Language. It is a standard language for accessing and manipulating databases. SQL is a domain-specific programming language designed for managing and querying relational databases. It provides a standardized way to interact with databases, allowing users to perform tasks like retrieving data, updating records, inserting new data, and managing the structure of the databases. SQL is used with relational database management system like MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, Microsoft Server, and others. As you know guys, SQL can be used to retrieve data from databases, insert data into databases, and update the data in a databases, and also perform like delete the data from databases. And SQL can be used to create a new databases and tables by using the create databases and create table statement. SQL is a powerful for managing data, and it is used by wide variety of application including web application, e-commerce platform. Guys, as you can see here, SQL also used by many popular databases management system such as MySQL, PostgreSQL, Microsoft SQL Server, and more. SQL is relatively easy language to learn, and there are many resources available to help you learn SQL. SQL can be used to perform wide variety of tasks from a simple data retrieval to complex data manipulation. If you are working with data, then it is important to learn SQL. SQL is a valuable skill that can be used in variety of different applications. Guys, as you can see here, how do you create a SQL server instance in Google Cloud Platform? As you can see here, I mentioned all the steps like first of all, enable the compute engine and cloud SQL in Google Cloud Project or Google Cloud Platform. You can select your desired project ID based on your project requirement guys, and you can specify your service account, that is also important, and create a SQL server instance in Cloud SQL, create a databases, create a new user, and end of the lab guys, you can abort to billing charges for GCP. You can delete your databases instance in Google Cloud Platform portal. Guys, as you can see here, all the steps as I mentioned here, I'll show you all the details inside the lab so that you can easily understand it, and based on your project requirement you can implement it. Guys, let's switch to the GCP console portal. Guys, as you can see here, this is the GCP console portal. First of all, you can click on navigation menu, then click on Cloud SQL. As you can see here, click on Cloud SQL here, and as you can see here, this is the Cloud SQL web portal page. Then guys, you can click on create instance button here. Now guys, you can select here SQL server. As you can see here, you can select here, choose the SQL server here. Guys, as you can see here, now you can configure the SQL server instance here. As you know guys, instance ID nothing but just you can write your name of the SQL server instance, SQL database server. As you can see here, the name of the SQL data server as SQL database server. Then guys, you can add the password as admin. As you can see here, this is the password. Guys, always you can remember your password. Then guys, you can select the SQL Server version based on your requirement. As you can see here, SQL Server 2017 Express, SQL Server 2017 Wave, Standard, Enterprise, and 2019 and 2022. All the versions are available here guys. Based on your requirement guys, you can select here. As you can see here guys, I will select here as server 2019 standard here. Then guys, scroll down. As you can see here, if your requirement is production environment, then you can select the production here. If your requirement is for testing or development, then guys you can select the development here. Now guys, as you can see here, the development configuration is applied here. It is showing the pop-up window here. Then guys, click on configuration detail here. Guys, as you can see here, the vCPU size is 4 and memory size is 26 GB and storage is 100 GB, as you can see here. Then guys, if you want to customize your storage and all the vCPU and memory, then guys, I'll show you in the below section. As you can see here, the show configuration option here. But before I'll switch to the show configuration option, I'll just explain the single zone and multiple zone here. Guys, I hope already you know about the single zone and multiple zone. If your requirement is single zone, then you can select the single zone here. Then click on specify zone, and the based on your client location you can select here US Central 1A, US Central 1B, US Central 1C, and US Central 1F. Based on your requirement guys, you can select any one of the zone here. Or guys, if your requirement is multiple zone, basically we are selecting for multiple zone for the production databases, because we need for high availability, and if any single zone is shut down or failable, then another zone always is available, so that customer can access their data all time. Now guys, you scroll down, then click on customize your instance section. Click on show configuration option here guys. Then as you can see here, click on machine configuration first. But guys, is your testing or development purpose, then one vCPU enough or sufficient for you guys. Then suppose if your requirement is one vCPU and 3.75 GB RAM memory, then you can select here guys. Similarly guys, based on your requirement, you can select here. You can select your custom option also here guys. Suppose you need for the 2 vCPU, the minimum it should take for the custom is 3.75, as you can see here, to 13. But guys, if your requirement is like to 5 GB, then you can select 5 GB here. This is the beauty of Google Cloud. Only Google Cloud is provided for that custom, as you can see here. This is the beauty of Google Cloud. And if your requirement is 1 vCPU and 3.75 GB, then you can select here guys. And then guys, click on storage here. If your requirement is 20 GB, then you select 20 GB. And already as I said, the minimum storage is 20 GB and maximum storage is 65,536 GB here guys. Then guys, you click on connection. Guys, now I don't have any private VPC and private subnet, so that as I select here the public IP as default here guys. Once we have complete our VPC load balancing session, then again I'll show you the database practical, so that you can easily understand it. Then guys, authentication section just leave as it is, because we don't have any domain here guys. Then click on data protection. Data protection, as already you know guys, the number of backup, if you want to increase 8, 10, whatever you want, but is the backup window time you can select based on your customer requirement guys here, as you can see here. Then guys, this is the important, just you can deselect it, but in the real world always it is enabled, because without permission having administrator, you never delete your databases and databases instance also guys. So only for the practical purpose, guys, you can always deselect it, because if you select here enable, then I'll show you what happened in whenever I go for the delete the instance, then what is the pop-up window error will appear. Now just I leave as it is for the default, and as you can see here, this is the check here. Then I'll show you end of the lab what is the issue and what is the error window will be appear whenever just I will click the delete for database server instance. I'll show you in this lab, guys. Then guys, click on maintenance here. Then already, as you know, guys, based on your requirement, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, in which day, based on your customer requirement and based is your need, then you can select here, guys. Then the flag and labels, these are the two sections you leave as it is, guys. Then I'll show you again what we have selected here. First of all, just instance info, then we select for the development here, guys. And as you can see here, this is the configuration detail here. Now the default for the development, but already we have customized here, guys. This is zone, single zone as I selected here. The machine configuration is 1 vCPU, and guys, storage capacity 20 GB as I selected here. In the data protection, as you can see here, enable deletion protection I checked here. Then maintenance I leave as it is. Then click on create instance, guys. Wait a couple of minutes to create your SQL server instance in cloud SQL console portal. Guys, as you can see here, the instance is being created now. Guys, as you can see here, the SQL database server instance is successfully created now. Then guys, click on cloud SQL here. As you can see here, guys, the SQL database server instance is successfully created here. Then guys, click on SQL database server here. Suppose for an example, guys, if you want to create another SQL data server for different application, then you can click on create instance here, guys. Then as you can see here, guys, based on your requirement you can select it. Then you can fill the entire detail about the database, all the information here. Then guys, finally click on create instance here. Then automatically it will create your MySQL databases based on your requirement. Then back to your cloud SQL server instance. As you can see here, now the SQL database server is ready, guys. Then select your databases here first, then click on SQL databases server here. Then guys, I'll show you how to create a new user inside the SQL database server. Then guys, as you can see here, this is the user section. Then click on user here, and guys, as you can see here, the default username is SQL server here. But if you want to add a new user, then guys, as you can see here, add user account button is here. Click on user account button here. Then name of the user like new user. Then add the password, whatever you want, guys, add the password. Then click on add button as you can see here. Then click on OK. As you can see here, guys, the new user is successfully created here. This is the name of the user, is the new user. But guys, you remember that the username and password, so that whenever just you connect to the SQL database server, then you can select the desired username and desired password, so that you can connect to the SQL database server. Guys, for an example, if you want to remove or disconnect the SQL database server for any user, then you can click on, as you can see here, 3 dot button here. Click on 3 dot button here. Then click on remove. Then guys, click on remove again here and wait a couple of seconds. As you can see here guys, the user is successfully removed or disconnected from your SQL data server. And guys, I hope so now you understand how do you remove or permanently delete a user account from the SQL database server. Then this is a simple step guys, just click on 3 button, then click on remove, then automatically delete your SQL database server here. Then guys, I'll show you now how do you create a new database inside the SQL database server. As you can see here, this is the database section here. Click on database. And guys, as you can see here, master, model, these are the name of the database already. Default databases is already existing here guys. And as you can see here also. And guys, if you want to create a new databases, then as you can see here, this is the create database button is here. Click on create databases, then add the name of the databases. As you can see here, the name of the databases is Cyrus Tech Cloud. Then click on create and wait a couple of seconds guys. And guys, as you can see here, the new database name as Cyrus Tech Cloud is successfully created here. Then guys, if you want to delete the new databases or existing databases from SQL server, similarly guys, you can click on 3 dot icon as you can see here, then click on delete, then enter the name of the databases guys, then you can add here, then click on delete and wait a couple of seconds guys. As you can see here guys, the database is successfully deleted from SQL database server here guys. Now as you can see here, this is the connection. This is also important field guys. If you add a new connection in between the SQL database server, then guys click on networking tab as you can see here, then scroll down. As you can see here, add a network, then you can add the name of the network and you can add the IP address here guys. This is the very important step guys. Just you can add the IP address, then you can communicate with your SQL server with other services guys. Then click on done. Already guys, you know the process. Then guys, again navigate to the Cloud SQL here. Then guys, finally, if you want to delete your SQL database from Google Cloud Platform portal, then first of all you can select your desired database here guys. Then guys, as you can see here, the action button here, click on action button. Then as you can see here guys, there is no option for delete, because guys, you remember just I checked the enable button for the deletion, and as you can read the information, you cannot delete this instance because the deletion protection is enabled. To delete, you have to edit this instance and disable the deletion protection first, then you can eligible to delete your SQL database server. Then how do you edit this guys? Then similarly guys, click on action here, then click on edit. Then guys, you can scroll down, then you go for the data protection here guys. Then data protection here guys, then you just uncheck this. First enable deletion protection, as you can see here. First uncheck this, then click on save, and it take a couple of seconds guys. As you can see here, easier update is successfully saved inside the SQL database server now. Then guys, click on Cloud SQL here. Then guys, again select your Cloud SQL server here. Then guys, click on action. As you can see here, click on action. As you can see here guys, now the delete option is enabled now guys here. Then click on delete, then add the name of the database server here. As you can see here, SQL database server here. Then guys, click on delete and wait a couple of minutes guys to successfully delete your SQL database server guys. As you can see here, the Cloud SQL database server is successfully deleted here. Now guys, I hope so you can understand how do you create a SQL database server and how do you create a new user instance based on your project requirement, and how do you create a new databases inside the cloud SQL server. I hope so now you can understand it. Thank you and have a nice day.